Welcome. As you settle into bed tonight, let your breath slow down. Let your thoughts, your body, and your mind soften. You're not here to think. You're here to feel safe, to simply rest. But before you drift into sleep, I invite you on a quiet journey, a gentle exploration through the hidden spaces of the mind, where our earliest emotional experiences still quietly live. Childhood trauma is not always about loud moments. Sometimes, it's the silence that hurt the most. A moment of being unseen, unheard. A time when we needed warmth but felt cold. When we needed comfort but were alone. These experiences, however distant, don't just disappear. They shape how we love, how we fear, how we connect, and how we cope. Tonight, we are not trying to fix anything. We are simply becoming aware. Aware of how certain memories may have built protective walls inside us. Aware of how some patterns we live in today might have roots reaching far back. This is not a confrontation. This is not judgment. This is a soft arrival to your own truth. So, lie back, breathe deeply, let the gentle rhythm of this voice guide you. You are not broken, you are human, and everything you carry has a reason. As you listen, you don't need to remember everything. You don't need to solve anything. Your only task is to rest, to feel gently understood. And if, in this quiet moment, you feel emotion rise, let it come. It's not weakness, it's release, a soft signal that healing has already begun. You are safe here. You are seen. You are held, just as you are. Let's begin this journey together. Slowly, kindly, sleepily. Childhood trauma does not always start with something loud. It doesn't always look like shouting, hitting, or chaos. Sometimes it begins in the quiet, in a room where your voice didn't matter, where you asked for love without knowing how, and no one noticed. Trauma can hide in the pauses, in the forgotten moments. It can begin when a parent turns their face away, or when a child's tears are met with silence. Not every wound is visible. Not every pain has bruises. You may have had a roof over your head, clothes on your body, food on the table. But were you seen? Were you heard? Did someone sit next to you, not just physically, but emotionally? Because a child needs more than survival. A child needs presence. A child needs connection. To feel safe. To feel real. To feel loved without needing to earn it. But emotional neglect is subtle. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And in that whisper, children begin to question themselves. Why does no one ask how I feel? Why do I have to be perfect to be noticed? Why do I feel invisible, even when I'm in the room? And the child's brain, delicate and growing, tries to make sense of this silence. So it begins to form beliefs, not always consciously, but deeply, quietly, and permanently. If I cry and no one comes, maybe I'm not worth comforting. If I'm ignored when I'm scared, maybe I should hide my fear. If I'm only loved when I succeed, maybe failure makes me unlovable. These thoughts become patterns. These patterns become truths. And these truths become walls. Walls that follow us into adulthood. You may be an adult now, but your inner child never stopped asking, am I enough? Am I safe? Will someone stay, even when I'm struggling? And so, we overachieve. We stay busy. We please others. We say yes when we want to say no. We fear abandonments, so we hold tight. We fear rejection, so we become what others want. All because we're still chasing the love we didn't receive. You see, childhood trauma is not only in what happened, but in what didn't. The hugs not. Even now, your body remembers. Your heart races in silence. Your stomach tightens during conflict. You flinch when someone raises their voice, even if they don't mean harm. Because trauma lives not only in the mind, but in the nervous system. And healing begins when we slow down, when we offer ourselves what we once needed. You didn't fail. You adapted. You became what you had to be, to feel safe, to stay loved, to survive perfectionism. It was your shield, people-pleasing. It was your strategy, anxiety. It was your radar. And now you're allowed to rest. You're allowed to let go. You are no longer in that house, no longer in that past. You are here now, and here you are safe. Let your breath be your anchor. Let your heartbeat be your guide. This is a place for healing. This is a moment for softness. No need to explain. No need to prove. Just be. Because healing doesn't come through force. It comes through gentleness. And the parts of you that were once ignored are finally being listened to. Right now, in this moment, as you drift deeper into rest, know this. You are worthy of love without performance. You are allowed to be held without being perfect. You are enough just as you are. Let that be the message your inner child receives tonight. Let them rest. Let you rest. Let sleep wrap around you like the comfort you once needed. You are not broken. You are becoming whole again. You are grown now. You work. You care for others. You smile when expected. But sometimes, something inside feels small, wounded, unsure. That's how childhood trauma often returns. Not as memories, but as patterns. You overthink. You apologize too much. You replay conversations in your head, wondering if you said something wrong. You fear being a burden, so you stay quiet when you're in pain. You wait until you're alone to cry. Because once, long ago, your feelings were too much for someone. So now, you try not to feel them at all. You might find it hard to trust, hard to relax, hard to let people see the real you. You might crave closeness, yet push it away when it comes. You might long for love, yet feel unworthy when you receive it. You check your phone constantly. You read between the lines of every message. You feel panic when someone takes too long to reply, because silence used to mean danger, or rejection, or being forgotten. You work harder than anyone, because deep down, you believe you have to earn your place. You never feel done. You never feel enough. And when you rest, you feel guilty. These are not personality traits. They are survival responses. They are old coping strategies that once kept you safe. Now, they keep you tired. You might struggle with boundaries. You say yes when you mean no. You fear disappointing others, so you give more than you have until you're empty. Then blame yourself for feeling exhausted. You may even attract people who hurt you, not because you deserve pain, but because it feels familiar. Because part of you still hopes, this time, if I'm good enough, they'll stay, they'll love me, they'll choose me. But here's the truth. You were always worth choosing. You were always enough. Your pain is not proof of weakness. It is proof of how deeply you've felt, how deeply you've loved, how deeply you've tried to survive in a world that didn't always feel safe. Childhood trauma doesn't always scream in adulthood. Sometimes it whispers. Don't trust to isolate. Stay quiet. Don't get your hopes up. Don't need too much. And yet, inside, your heart still beats with longing. Longing to be seen. Longing to be held, longing to breathe without fear, to love without fear, to live without pretending. You are not overreacting. You are remembering, and the body remembers what the mind forgets. But you are not trapped in the past. Not anymore. You are here. You are aware. And awareness is the beginning of change. Tonight, as you listen to these words, feel the tight places in your body soften. Let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw unclench. Let your inner child know they are no longer alone. They are no longer unheard. They are no longer invisible. The patterns you carry are not your fault, but the healing that belongs to you. And every breath you take in stillness, every act of self-kindness, is a step back toward yourself. So sleep now. Let go. Let the truth settle in. You are not broken. You are healing. You are safe now. And you no longer have to perform to be loved. Healing does not arrive all at once. It does not knock loudly at the door. It whispers. It enters quietly. It begins in the smallest of moments. A breath, a pause, a moment of stillness when you choose to stay with yourself instead of running away from the pain. Healing begins the first time you notice, I am triggered right now. And that's okay. When you no longer shame your reaction, but trace it back to where it started, you begin to see that your anxiety is not random. Your fears are not irrational. They come from a version of you that needed protection. And that version of you still lives inside. You don't heal by forcing them to grow up. You heal by letting them feel safe. It starts with a gentle hand on your own heart, with asking yourself, what do I need right now? Not what the world needs from you, but what your soul is quietly asking for. Sometimes the answer is rest. Sometimes it's tears. Sometimes it's silence. Healing is not always visible. It happens in the quiet moments, where you choose not to abandon yourself, where you sit with your discomfort, instead of distracting yourself away from it, where you no longer treat pain as a problem, but as a messenger, a signal, a truth. You begin to speak to yourself more kindly. The inner critic becomes quieter. You catch yourself mid-thought and say, no, I am not too much. I am not broken. I am learning. You stop chasing people who do not see you. You stop trying to prove your worth. You begin to set boundaries, not to push people away, but to protect your peace. You sleep a little easier. You laugh more honestly. You cry more freely. And one day, without noticing, you walk past an old trigger and feel nothing, not because the past is forgotten, but because you are no longer living there. You remember the pain, but it doesn't control you. You carry the memory, but it no longer weighs you down. You realize healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about coming home to who you've always been, beneath the fear, beneath the survival, beneath the silence. You were never too damaged. You were only waiting for the space to feel, the safety to rest, the time to listen to yourself. And now, you are listening, so breathe. Let your body release the stories it's been holding. Let your nervous system know there is no danger here. You are safe. You are loved. You are healing. Not perfectly, not instantly, but beautifully. And tonight, that is enough.